Hello from SiteSwan. I'm Justin, one of the co-founders here, and today we're doing something we've never done before, a live presentation about designing websites for small businesses. We're going to take you through the entire process of site design on our platform from start to finish, and I think you're going to be impressed with just how quick it really is. Of course, we're also going to talk about some of the design concept stuff, hopefully educate you a little bit about the why behind some design choices that we make and what appeals to all of us when it comes to design. Now, if you're here, you're likely fit into one of three categories. This webinar is specifically for anyone interested in joining the SiteSwan reseller program so you can see the process for building websites firsthand, but it's also for you new SiteSwan resellers who have recently signed up and want to learn the best way to design sites for your potential clients. But you also might be here because you're an experienced SiteSwan reseller looking to build sites more efficiently so you can scale your business. In fact, I'm going to turn to my polls here and launch a poll that's going to help you learn who is on, help me, just me, learn about who's on this call today. So I'm putting a poll out there that's telling me if you are a current reseller, if you are an active reseller but relatively new, or if you're an experienced SiteSwan reseller looking to scale. So either you're not a reseller, you're active but new, or you're experienced. So I'd love to see you all chime in with that. I think I just published that. My moderators would tell me if I haven't and hopefully do that for me if I failed to do that correctly. Okay, so with that in place, while you're doing that, let's take a minute to look at what's on the agenda for today. So we're first going to discuss why design is even important to begin with. I mean, I think it's a good idea to get you, a good grasp of why we even need to pay attention to stuff like this. Then we'll look at the 4 simple steps to designing sites that look good every time, and all very straightforward steps, by the way, that anyone can follow. After that, we'll do a live platform demonstration to walk you through those 4 steps. Following that are some helpful tips and suggestions that you do not want to miss, and then we'll have our interactive Q&A to make sure you get everything that you came here for today. So let's get this going. First, though, a little bit about SiteSwan for those of you who are not yet working with us. SiteSwan is a web design business in a box. Now, the reason we say business in a box is because we give you everything that you need to start, run, and grow and scale your web design business. SiteSwan is an easy-to-use, responsive website builder that lets you build websites for small businesses in seconds, with no coding, no programming, and no technical experience required. We have over 100 professionally designed, industry-specific, ready-to-sell themes so you can take advantage of our one-click site creation and have designs ready to show to your potential clients in less than a minute. We also have an ever-growing library of resources, which includes sales and marketing material, flyers, brochures, postcards, mailers, sales scripts, and more. We also offer integrated client billing, so you can charge your customer credit cards for the fees associated with their site, right from your SiteSwan dashboard and automatically for their monthly recurring payments. Now, we launched SiteSwan in 2011. We'll be celebrating 10 years this year. And we've achieved this longevity in part by offering outstanding training and customer support. Our 5-star support staff is all US-based, and we, as a company, are all passionate about helping small businesses grow. Now, SiteSwan also lets you set your own prices. You keep all of the money that you charge your clients. Well, how's that? Because this is a 100% white label solution. It's your business, your brand. You're just using our software to power it. So let's start our discussion today by asking the question, why is web design important? Well, did you know that it's estimated that the majority of new site visitors will spend less than 15 seconds on a website unless you're able to capture their attention and make them want to stay longer? This is just one of the many reasons why website design is so important. And that leads us to a discussion about bad versus good design. Bad design, a poorly designed website, will make a bad first impression, turn away site visitors, dilute or tarnish the brand value, and make them leave and go elsewhere, and rather quickly. before the visitor has a chance to take in everything on the site. But with good design, you can make a good first impression, engage site visitors, earn their trust, keeping them on your site longer. And that is the goal. As a web designer, your small business clients are depending on you to create a site that looks great and appeals to their customers. And it's got to check off all the things listed here vertically on the left side of your screen right now. It's got to be attractive with a beautiful modern design. It should be using professional, eye-catching photography that makes a statement. It needs to have engaging, well-written content applicable to their line of business that speaks to their audience. It's got to have a clear call to action, meaning, what do you want site visitors to ultimately do? Pick up their phone and call, fill out a form, do some sort of online booking, and then it needs to have a mobile-friendly design as more and more people are accessing small business websites from their smartphones. This is what ultimately makes a good design. One thing people don't realize sometimes is that good website design sells. Design is so important during the sales process, specifically in the beginning when you're first pitching a client on a new website. Of course, prices and features and value will all be important factors to consider, but ultimately the overall design of the website is what influences a client's decision to purchase a site from you to begin with. Every business owner wants a site that looks great. So while design might be subjective in nature, at the end of the day, your goal as a web designer is not just to design websites, but to design websites that wow your clients and that sell fast. Does that all sound difficult? Well, good news. If you're using SiteSwan, it's not. It's super easy. So how do you design websites for small businesses that look great and sell fast? Well, thankfully, with SiteSwan, you don't need to be a design guru or spend countless hours creating mock-ups and crafting content to figure that out. The SiteSwan website builder makes it surprisingly easy to build beautiful websites for your small business clients in minutes. And our 4-step approach ensures that you stay on track and pump out stunning designs every time. Let's go over those 4 steps right now. The first step to designing websites for small businesses with the SiteSwan platform is choosing a theme. Our industry-specific themes make it very easy to design a professional-looking website for just about any small business. Now, we currently have over 150 themes, and we're adding more every month. For those of you on our email list, we just released a furniture store theme today. It was about 20 minutes before we started this webinar. Most of our pre-built themes come with at least 5 pages of content, all perfectly laid out, complete with relevant copy and professional photography. Themes are the perfect starting point because they take the guesswork out of designing a great-looking website. And they also provide a solid framework for the type of content a consumer might expect to find on a small business website for that industry. So you can capture their attention and engage them. Now, if you don't see a particular theme or industry that you're looking for, do not worry, because any theme can be easily customized by swapping out the content and the images that are on the site. SiteSwan also offers several blank canvas themes that can be 100% customized for any business. So that is step 1. Let's talk about step 2, uploading a logo. Now, a logo is a vital component to any website's design and can really help your design kind of come to life. A logo is usually the core to a business's brand and is used on all of their marketing materials, so it's kind of important that it's featured on their website as well. By adding a logo to your site, you're instantly personalizing the site for the business and setting the foundation for the rest of the site's design. Lots of times, the logo will actually dictate what colors and fonts that you'll choose for the site. Seeing their actual logo on the site, customers that is, will help the design resonate with them and make the site more appealing, as it's been personalized just for them. So what you could do is you could ask your client to email you a high-resolution file for their logo, or you can simply grab it from their current website or Facebook or social media pages, scan it from a business card, or even grab it from their menu or their brochure. Now, if you don't have access to a logo or the client doesn't have one, then you can simply stylize the business name using the fonts and colors that we offer you, or use the default logo that comes with the theme. This is also a great opportunity to upsell the client on a new logo design. Now, that's something, if you have the skills, you can either do yourself, you can hire us to do, or you can even find someone on like Fiverr.com to do it for you. Very popular place that people go for logo designs. So now that you have a logo in place, that was all step 2. Step 3 now, it's time to pick your website colors and your fonts. It's important to pick colors and fonts that best represent your client's overall brand. So look at the logo to find complementary accent colors that can be used on the site. You can also look at the client's marketing materials, such as menus, flyers, brochures, and even signage to help determine the overall color palette and the fonts associated with their brand. Now, don't go overboard with colors, okay? Too many colors or too much contrast or super bright colors can be hard on your eyes. It can actually be a turnoff to site visitors. It's better to stick with just like 1 or 2 soft accent colors or different tones of the same hue that you can easily apply throughout the entire site. Start off by changing the navigation, the buttons, and the accent colors to create a consistent look and feel, something that matches your client's brand. And look, if you're unsure of the client's brand colors, which could be the case, then just play it safe. Stick with neutral colors that have mass appeal and that can easily be changed later on if need be. Fonts, the second part of step 3, are equally important. I want you to choose fonts that complement the client's logo. But now, this is a part that sometimes get confused. They don't necessarily need to be the same. Take note, do they use a serif font or a sans serif font? This is a very, I think, subtle difference in different fonts that I want you to take a very close look at the screenshot that's on the left here. So serif basically means that it's like a decorative stroke that finishes off the end of a letter's stem. And sans serif would basically mean without that, because sans means without. So without serif. So they're more straight edges without flares. See if you can pick up on that. And then also take into account, do they use a heavy block text? Is it a thin and light text as I smack my microphone around? Typography can actually have a big impact on the overall design and the tone of the site. So different fonts say different things about the business, and I want to give you a couple of examples of exactly what I'm talking about. So serif fonts can give a site more traditional or a serious look and feel, and are often used by professionals like lawyers, accountants, or doctors, while softer sans serif fonts can make a site feel more casual or family friendly. Block fonts come off as bold, strong, and masculine, and are often used by contractors, sport teams, and automotive services. Then you have cursive, script, handwriting, and more delicate fonts can oftentimes be seen as more feminine, fancy, decorative, and are commonly found on websites for salons, boutiques, and even restaurants. But whatever font you choose, make legibility your top priority. Some fonts, especially cursive ones and script ones, they can kind of be difficult to read, so they should be used sparingly. Now that you've chosen an appropriate theme, you've uploaded a logo, you've picked your site colors and fonts, you're pretty much at the finish line now to creating a great looking website. That brings us to step 4. This last step is to personalize the site for the individual client. Adding a few personal touches throughout the site can go a long way in creating a design that impresses the client and helps you close the deal. It can be as simple as including their business name or inserting their tagline somewhere on the site, mentioning a specific product or service that they offer, replacing one of the stock photos with an actual photo for their business, or even adding a new post that talks about something unique to their business. I want you to look for images that you can use by visiting the client's Facebook or their Yelp page. Clients are often be much more excited to see a picture of themselves, their store, their work, and even their staff on their website. Investing that few extra minutes, personalizing the site for their actual business can go a really long way in impressing clients and help you sell more sites. Let me show you how these steps come together in a real life example or four. Let's start with a tire and wheel shop. So let's pretend for a moment we want to build a site for a tire and wheel shop for a client. So the first step would be to select an appropriate theme, if applicable. And this tire and wheel shop theme is a perfect fit. Now, step two is to upload the logo, which you're going to see here. Everything else is the same, okay? The logo on the top left has changed because the business name is included in the logo, so the business name has also been pulled out. Now, step three is where we change the colors and the fonts. Since the logo is black and yellow, those colors were pushed through to the rest of the site. And then we change the fonts to something that more closely aligns with the text that's in their logo. I think it's coming along very nicely, even at step three. But in step four is where the homepage copy gets updated to say, in this case, Detroit's premier custom tire and wheel shop for over 20 years. And the images that the client has, I think on their Instagram or something like that, have been replaced, both in the hero image section, which is behind that main text, and also in the Our Services section. Notice those three images have all been changed to use the client's actual imagery. So in my opinion, this looks really sharp. Now let's go on to the next example. So this time, we're doing an electrician. Now we have some awesome electrician themes. One that we recently launched, that's where we're going to start with for this example. Once again, in step two, we're uploading the logo for the client, which in this case is called Matlock. Step three is we're tweaking the fonts to be a little more trim. Notice the choice to go sans serif with the font choice. And then that red gets pushed through to replace all of the green that comes standard in the theme. Then in step four, two really good client images help bring this together, where their actual truck is featured here and the hero image text is changed to focus on the area that they serve, Arkansas and Oklahoma. This looks awesome in red for this client. Here's a fun one, Masonry, patios, driveways. We have a brand new theme for this industry. Take a look at what happens in step two. Now, they have a logo that looks really good on a white background. In fact, part of the logo itself has a white background. Now, there are steps you can take to extract the white background that you can use from a third-party service, but since it looks so good on a white background, the thought is that, hey, why don't we just change the whole header background color to white? So in step three, that's exactly what gets done. Now the logo really pops. And then we pull the green that's in that logo and we use it in the buttons and then swap out the background color of the second post to get rid of that teal color since it doesn't really match the rest of the client's color scheme. Of course, a font change does happen here as well. I think it's a little bit more subtle in this case. But then in step four, with new homepage text, a photo of their actual work, a team photo that they have, I think it was posted on social media, really wrap this design up. And this is ready to wow, and this is ready to sell. I got one more example for you, okay? This, you saw me talk about this before with the blank canvas themes that we have. These are super versatile themes because they can be used for anything. So we get their logo. We pop it in for step two. That's easy. Then step three is where we pick a handwriting font and pull that yellowish orange from the pasta symbol in their logo, and we use it in the hero image button, the text under the hero image, and then the background for this block of text. Then we tie it all up. Once again in step four, customizing the content to say, discover the best Italian food in Jacksonville, Florida, and using a couple of stock images actually of Italian food. I'm loving the way these are all coming out. I find this to be a very satisfying experience when we can come with theme and then bring it to something that a client will actually really love. So now that you know these four steps, I'd like to take a moment to actually walk you through those steps so you can see it all in action. So I'm going to switch my screen, which will hopefully go perfectly smoothly. And okay, there we go. All right, so this is the dashboard where all your sites are going to be located. For those of you who are not on board with us yet, Your dashboard looks like this. All of your sites appear here. You have your options up top. And let's use an example of a pet groomer. I'm thinking of this because my dog, we recently had to send to a pet groomer, and it was unbelievable how difficult it was to find a pet grooming business with a decent looking website. I want to sell them all websites. So there was actually one I came across in my searches that I'm gonna create a site for them now. So there's two ways to create a new site within SiteSwan. The first way is to click Create New Site. The second way is to use our local prospecting tool, which will let you search for businesses in an area under a specific term. But let's go to Create New Site here. I already know the name of the business that I'm going to be creating a site for. And in the business name field, I'm going to type in that name of the business, which is called Puppy Cuts. All right, so I'm going to select it from the drop down. This is a search feature that allows you to pull in details about the business into the site design. And then I'm going to choose a theme that's appropriate. So I can narrow this down by choosing animals and pet care, or of course I can, just scroll through them, which I'm going to do here. And this is mostly for the sake of allowing you to see some of the other themes that we have. You saw the tire and wheel theme, that's right here. And I'm going to find one that I think is appropriate for a pet grooming business. So a lot of these, by the way, pay attention to as the seasons change. You definitely want to take a look at, like landscapers and power washers right now. That kind of stuff is super hot. So here we have one for pet grooming. I'm going to click Create Site. So now what the system is doing is it's generating a website for me for Puppy Cuts, and it's including all the important information about the business automatically. So we've got the business name, we have the address and phone number, the map with directions, hours of operation, payment methods they accept. It's all getting loaded into the site for me. And this is one of the things that's going to save me a lot of time and energy when I'm putting a site together for a client, because lots of times, even if I didn't go ahead and change a bunch of stuff on this homepage design, this is still something that looks really smart, looks really slick, and a business could actually get some value and appreciation for. So once this blue bar goes from the left to the right side of my screen, I have a completely built out site in my dashboard that I can start editing and modifying right away. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, I want to give you a little background about this company based on the 2 minutes of research that I did prior to this chat today, is that we're able to find their logo online. They have a horrible site right now. And that's one of the things I want to point out to you too, is that just because a business has a website does not mean that they are not a prime candidate for a new website. In fact, a lot of our resellers are telling us that they're having just as much success, if not more, selling to businesses that already have a site, but we're just simply upgrading them to a new site. Okay, so this business, we had a logo captured and some very, very, very minor details that I'm going to go through the process. So step one is done. We chose our theme. Okay. Step two is to upload that logo. So I'm going to show you how to do that. When you're logged into your site, you're going to have access to these tabs up top. So I'm going to click the design tab, which is where you have access to swap out the logo. So I'm going to click upload logo, and I'm going to pull the logo that we got on our computer here and upload it into the site. So this logo, once again, has the name of the business in the logo. So that means that I can actually pull out the name from this box, get rid of this, and now we're cruising on to the next step, except for the fact that I may want to just size this up a bit, because I feel like that would probably be a little bit easier for people to read. Okay, step two is done. I'll save my changes. Done. I could preview the site if I want to, but let's move on. We know our steps already. Step three is to change fonts and colors, or colors and fonts. So the first thing I'm going to do is see how this navigation text is like this teal color. Well, that doesn't really match, right? So let's go and find our navigation color, which is right here, click on it, and then choose a color that's more appropriate. So I'm actually going to make an attempt to match the color that's being used in their font, in their logo, which looks something, I think, like this. Now, here's a designer's tip for you. If I'm going to use the same color over and over again, each color of the rainbow has its own what we call hex code, which is a 6-digit code that you can reference and use throughout your site. So I know I'm going to use this purple again somewhere, so I'm going to copy this to my clipboard so that I can use it in a little while. The second thing I'm going to do is go in and actually change my font. So I want you to take a quick look at this logo. This font, right, that we're using, this kind of like crazy script font, we're not going to use this for any text on the site. It's just a little bit too, I think, difficult to read any sort of long block of text. But notice this text, okay, this grooming text underneath. It's a serif font and it's all in caps. So I think what I'm going to do is find a font that's similar. So in my navigation option, actually, here's one, Playfair Display. So I'm going to click this one, and now you'll see my navigation has been changed to be serif font, all caps. And I am going to use this feature that allows me to bump up the size of my navigation so it looks a little bit more prominent. And I think that if I use this same font as my title font, that will actually be a nice touch. So I'm going to do that as well. Now, for the other colors of the site, you'll see that we have some teals in here and some greens and stuff like that. I'm just going to quickly update this. Another designer secret for you is that you can actually click these colors, drag them, and then you can apply the same color to a different element of your design. In this case, though, we talked about using different hues, different shades of the same hue. So now I'm going to go with a lighter purple for this footer area. I think that's going to be a nice touch that is going to align with everything else we're doing with the brand. I'm going to make some of my text pop a little bit better to make it very, light in color, high contrast with the purple. And I think we've done a good job of making our overall site color changes. Now, the next thing I want to do is we talked about changing buttons and things like that. So I'm just going to close up this area. And I'm going to change this button color from teal to that same purple. How do I do that? I edit this post. I simply move my mouse over it, click edit. I see there's a button color option. I have my hex code saved, copied on my clipboard. I pasted it in and click and post. And that's it. That's been updated. Now I see there's a phone number here that's in teal. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same exact thing. I'm going to take this, type in my hex code, paste it in, I should say, and then click OK. I also see that I have some text here that can get the exact same treatment. Now, I could go in and do this for every single one if I wanted to, but for the sake of our demonstration today, I'm going to skip over that. But all I would do, well, you know what? Let's just do it. All right, I'm not going to take too many shortcuts here. I want you all to see exactly what it would take to get this site looking really sharp for this business owner's branding needs. So there we go. I'm using that purple color in all three of those spots. And I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. If I scroll down here, so this is a really nice section here about our services. But again, we got this teal. Now, here's a really cool thing that's happening I want to point out to you. If I click the row editor option when I move my mouse over this row, you're going to see what's actually happening here. We have a background image, and then we have a color overlay of this teal color. Why not make this purple also, right? So I'm going to click this. I'm going to, once again, paste in my purple color. And now this feels a little bit strong to me. So I'm going to use this overlay color adjuster and dial this down a little bit so that we have a softer purple. I think that looks really sharp. So I'm going to click OK there. And then one final change I feel inclined to make is that we got a really cute photo of a puppy that they recently groomed. So I'm going to swap out one of these. Since the dog that they provided was a small dog, we're going to swap out this middle one. Now, what's really cool about this process, and I'm just going to click replace on this to swap out this image, is I can drag an image from my desktop right in here, and it gets instantly uploaded to the site's library that can be used over and over again on this site as many times as I want. What's even cooler about this is that when I make this selection, notice that I have circle crop selected. So even though I uploaded what seems to be a square image, we're still able to circle crop it so that it looks exactly the same as the other photos in this section. The last thing I'm going to do, which is really a nitpicky thing, which is not something you have to, really kill yourselves over, but I'm going to do it, is see how these buttons are not perfectly lining up? That's only because we have 2 lines of text, 2 lines of text, and 1 line of text. So this is not something you have to do, and there's several ways to modify this. You can change font sizes and things like that, but I'm just going to quickly break this onto 2 lines, and that is going to make me feel better with my OCD for the moment. Look at that. See, now they're all nice and lined up. Cool. So there we go. So, and actually I kind of cheated a little bit here. I kind of went and did a little bit of step 4 stuff with you, by changing this image, because that's something that's generally done in step 4. But even if we don't go crazy making additional changes here, this is really looking sharp. Let's do that though. Let's make a couple, I think, final tweaks to personalize this site for the client. So my one thing I would always like to see is some sort of text that brings in the area that's being served into this hero image. So now this business is based in a town called Hicksville, but they serve the surrounding area. So I'm going to say something like Long Island's favorite dog groomer. Okay, something like that. And then click post. So we've made that change. This is, I think, ready to show off to the client. Actually, one more thing. Let me go ahead and change the phone number on here, because we have a dummy phone number as a placeholder, this 123555. So let's just scroll down to the bottom where we have their phone number. It's 493-7874. So I'm just going to swap that out. What did I just say? I forgot the number already. 493-7874. 7874. All right, good. Post. Now look, I didn't do the entire homepage, okay? I'm not going to go through all of these color changes with you now. I feel that's a little bit unnecessary for the purposes of our demo. But if we just take a look at the way this site looks in preview mode after making the few changes we did in what, a couple of minutes, we have something that we can march into puppy cuts with, either virtually or figuratively, and say, hey, puppy cuts, look at the website design I've been working really hard on for you. I'm excited to show it to you. Can we go over it together? And then you show them something like this. And this looks like it was built specifically for them. And that is what we're trying to convey when we're building out these website designs for our clients. So I will take any questions on this in just a couple of seconds here, but I'm going to go back to where we were in our presentation so we can pick up where we left off. So there we go. Now, hopefully that helped you understand, the real world application of the design steps that we put together for you. I want to focus on something that I feel is really important, which is some helpful tips and suggestions that I think and hope that you're going to find helpful today. So the first one is to get inspired. I want you to look at what other designers are creating, bookmark sites that you like, and save them and reference them later. Do your research too. Look, when building a site for a particular client, I want you to look at what other businesses in their industry are featuring on their website and look for common trends, whether it be colors or any sort of particular wording, things of that nature. It's also wise to utilize a design brief. Now, this is something we give you in the resources section of your dashboard, but this document can be used to gather important client info and even some design preferences before you ever start building their site. I would encourage you also to avoid distractions. Please don't put any background music or videos that play automatically or pop-ups like that on your client sites. They can become distractions and be a turn off to site visitors and kind of, feed into that whole 15-second limit that some people have when visiting a site. Also, mobile really matters, okay? All SiteSwan sites are automatically mobile optimized and 100% responsive. I want you to be sure that you highlight this when you're showing off your design to your customers. Another thing is to take initiative on the content. Don't wait around for your client to send you images or to send you copy. That only slows down the design and the sales process. So look, just use your best judgment and use what's available in our themes. We even have over 2 million images you can search through and use on any of your client sites. You have full rights to them. You can always go back and edit them or modify them based on the feedback you get from your client. And please use those high quality images, okay? Stay away from those low res or super small photos, pixelated, blurriness. That all looks bad, leaves a bad impression on the client and the site visitors. And whatever you do, please just trust the process, okay? Don't overthink design. It doesn't need to be complicated to look really good. Follow these steps as your blueprint for success. All right. That pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to get to today. So I'm now going to turn my attention to the questions tab, where I've been hearing in my ear all the questions you guys have been posting all along. So I'm now going to attempt to answer them live, along with some of the help from my moderators. So some of you, it looks like, have been getting your questions answered by our moderators as we're going along. But I do want to take both some of those as well as some other questions that we haven't yet answered and address them today. So let's see what we got. And by the way, you can only see your own questions. So what that means is that don't be shy about the type of question that you're asking, okay? If you're like, oh, I feel funny asking this question. Who cares? I'm not going to say your full name or your address or your phone number when I'm telling people the question that was asked, okay? Don't be shy. Just whatever's on your mind, you can ask it. Don't worry about it. And we'll make sure that we answer it if we need to. Not if we need to. We're going to answer it, as long as it's on topic. All right. So I have no idea if the ones on top or the ones on the bottom are my newest ones, but I'm going to assume the ones on the bottom are the ones on the bottom are my newest ones. Okay. So we have a couple of questions that have already been answered by our moderators, but I'm still going to just touch on really quick because I want the rest of you to hear them. The first question comes from Pam, and it's that, can you take information from one of our themes and add it to another theme? And basically the short answer to that is that if you want to take an image from another theme, copy and paste some content from another theme, all that kind of stuff, 100% yes, you can do it. What we try to do is load up the image library and each theme with relevant content for that industry type. But if you see something else somewhere else, then by all means, you have the rights to it. As long as you're a client, you absolutely have the rights to all the stuff that's on our themes to use for your clients. Let's see. Jesse is asking if the fonts are included in the system, or does it pull the fonts from your computer? So Jesse, one of the interesting things about fonts is that they're generally sort of very browser specific, whether fonts work the way they should or not. So we have a bunch of built-in fonts into the platform that you're going to use. You're not going to need to reference any fonts that are on your computer. It sounds like you might be a designer type person. If you've got a lot of fonts on your computer, you probably are a designer. But I think you'll be satisfied with the wide range of fonts that we have available to you. If it's not exactly what you're looking for, you can always ask our support team. It's possible that we might be able to, get another font added if that's what it came to, but that's pretty rare. Audrey was asking if this, oh, hey, Audrey. We just did a getting started webinar that you were on earlier, I think. Yeah, we are recording this, and we will be showing a replay right after this ends, actually. We're just going to automatically start the recording from the beginning. It might take a few minutes, but it'll be there. Pam is also asking, do you guys have designers available for a charge? So yeah, we do. Matter of fact, it's been a very busy month for us with doing these types of designs. One of our resellers has had a lot of success with finding potential clients, but just not having the time to design the site. So I want to talk to you about this. We have a homepage design fee. That's $99. And that's usually all that people need to basically point them in the right direction when it comes to designing a site. So you basically tell us whatever you can about the business, give us as many details as possible, and then we will put together that design for you. It takes a few days or a week, but we pop it into your account for you, and then you're good to go. If you need the rest of the pages built, that's fine too. We just charge the same price for the additional pages, but you might find that you can do just fine without that. Let's see. Christian asked, do you have any advice for resellers who don't yet have a portfolio of websites or clients to show prospects? Or if your website work is now out of date, actually, yeah, we do have a very specific article on this, which is called How to Build a Web Design Portfolio with No Clients. So on the blog page of our site, go to siteswan.com/blog. You will find that article. It's a great question. Bo is asking if there is a resource for geez, I can't read this question today. Bo, you're tripping me up. Is there a resource for advanced training on every design or page item available to us in the platform that is not included in the resources videos we get through the platform? So Bo, it's interesting you asked this question. On every design or page item, you're free to ask anything you feel that might be unclear to you, and I'll actually demonstrate it for you right now if it's from a design standpoint. But we are actually working toward another webinar just like this one that does focus on some more advanced design stuff. It's not always necessary, but if you find that it is, you might get some value out of attending that. Now, we don't have it scheduled yet, but we are working on it. And if you find there's any question that's in your mind about something you're trying to do from a design standpoint, but just don't seem to be able to achieve it, it's very possible it can be done. You just don't know how, right? So go to your support site, which is available from the dashboard, from the help dropdown, write a support request into us, and we will get back to you and help you, especially if you reference the exact site you're working on. Be more than happy to assist you with that. Okay, I have another question coming in from Gerard. Oh, he's predicting the future with our products, our product releases, our feature releases. He's asking about changing the shape of the buttons on the site, and then like some sort of global option for button colors. Yeah, that's actually very much on the horizon. So thanks for asking about that. Then I have some questions that are a little off topic that my moderators are doing a fine job of answering. And looks like both of my moderators are currently replying to this question about the usual charge that a reseller might have, what they might charge for a website design. And this is great. I realize there's a lot of you here who are new to the platform, never even sold a site before. So let's just quickly talk about that, even though we're not really focused on that today. So if you're talking about how much you should charge your small business customers, we highly recommend $499 is kind of a minimum for the setup fee. And then a monthly charge of anywhere between like $49 and $99 a month. But look, when you're talking about these awesome themes, that they easily look like $3,000 to $4,000 websites, okay? So don't think that you have to stay at that $500 setup fee. You can easily increase that to $800, $900, $1,000, $1,200, $2,000, $2,500. You have room to go up. The typical agency is charging much, 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 much more than you will be for your sites. All right, I'm going to try and keep it to just 2 more questions, and then we are going to let you guys go as we near the finish line here. Let's see. Audrey's asking a question about a free editor to customize some design stuff. Audrey, I don't know off the top of my head. Submit a ticket. I think someone else has asked this in the past, and I think we gave them some ideas and some input on that. So go to the support site, support.siteswan.com. We're here to help you on that. Let's see, what else? What's one final question I can pull here and use as hopefully a teaching moment? Is it getting? Yes, everyone, it is getting recorded, so don't worry about that. As soon as we wrap up, it's going to restart. You'll be able to see it from the beginning. Let's see. Someone's asking about, I'm trying to quickly, it's a long question. I'm just trying to see if I can read it. Okay, so it looks like yes, just sorry to follow up. You can in fact watch this recording another time, not just immediately when it ends. We'll most likely put this in an email out to everybody so that you'll be able to watch it at your leisure. But Jerry, I know you. If you came in late, now's the time to watch it. Now's the time to watch it, Jerry. I know how busy he is. Very, very busy. All right, I lost my spot with the last question I was going to ask, or I should say answer. And I see a couple things that are coming in that just they're a little off topic, and I don't want to confuse people who came here just to talk about design. So I think at this point, this is a good place to stop. If you have anything else that comes up, design related or anything else related, all of you folks, you know how to reach us, and your help drop down your dashboard. Just click to visit our support center, and we're here to help. I really appreciate you all being here today. Hope you have a very happy rest of your week, or rest of your month at this point. A long weekend ahead of us, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Bye-bye, everybody.